Okay, so many things we would have loved to talk about tonight, but I believe, okay, let's have baby take this. Okay, and tell me if I can have more water. Then, yeah. Okay, as I get settled in, there's a lot more for us to talk about tonight, to share, and just be ready for whatever it is, different callings and issues and our passions, our purpose. And Esther, greetings. Okay, so this is the only place apparently we can talk, and I can see that you are here, even when I've taken quite a bit some time, and I'm sorry about that. But let's talk. Let's get real. Give me the questions, Esther. I'd love to know your experience on the pre-recorded show. I'd love to know, how did it go? How did you feel? Did you feel did you feel nervous? Did you feel like, whatever? What kind of feeling was it for you? I'd love to know for sure. And for the rest of us, I know that we have personal questions and things that we are going through that would love clarity, things that I've promised you time and again that we can also dive into your life or just talk about the things that you're going through. And it's possible that you have things that other people have actually asked you about, and you're just at crossroads. You don't know a straight answer, or you don't know whether how you answered it was the right way, and maybe you need a help to be able to know how to think about it, how to wrap your head around it, and just how to make it okay. And while we're preparing for all that, I just want us to share just a little bit random things that I've thought about this week and last week. Things to do with, we are beginning the year, and we want to live the best year possible. But there are things that we really must know, and one of them is we are stronger than we have ever known or than we could ever know. We are stronger, and we have what it takes to make it in life. And no one should tell you that you have to achieve this and this, or get that and that, or just be this and this in order to be an achiever, in order to be a successful person. You are stronger than you have ever known. Okay, you are stronger than you have ever imagined. The energy or the wisdom that you have used is only about what, let me say, not even 5%, not even 1%. Just imagine. Not even as I speak, I don't think I've used my 1% of the knowledge that God gave me, or the calling, the passion, and the purpose that God gave me. So I believe there is a lot more that we can do, and if we just purposeful, and if we go out each day putting the right foot in front of the other, then we are going to achieve a lot more in this life. Okay, just imagine if you used 1% or 2%. I think that's why the writer said that the wealthiest place or the richest place on planet are the graveyards. Why? Because people have died with their ideas. People have gone with what was a possibility. And I've said this time and again during my mentorship classes, that the only things we regret are the things we didn't get to do. Okay, we knew we had what it takes for us to do them, but we just didn't do them. And so we keep regretting and saying, had I known. Just imagine, if you're 30, you go to 40, if you're 50 to 60, you look back at life and you're like, life has given me 30 years or 40 years, and I've not done anything with those 40 years. While you were 30, maybe you just thought, life is short, nothing is going to happen, we're all going to die, all that mumbo jumbo that we keep talking about, that people keep feeding our minds with, so we feel like, even the richest people die. Even if you make too much money, you die. Yes, even if you make too much money, you die. But again, you are not in charge of your life and in control of your life. You don't know when you're going to die. You don't know how much time you have left. And the people that have been disappointed the most are the people that thought they would die sooner, and then they have lived 40 years, and then they are living either hand to mouth or begging or just not having a good life. And then you're thinking, I mean, I wish I had known. I wish I had done something. Guys, it's not too late to save. It's not too late to make a lot of money. We can make a lot of money. You can decide and say, you know what, I'm just going to increase the streams of income. And there's a lot more than there's a lot more that we can actually do, okay? So what I keep posting here, what I keep talking about on other platforms, I believe if we put some of these things into practice, if we stop people pleasing, okay? If we stop just jumping on to people's bandwagons, number one, the people that are going to overcome and be high achievers and high flyers and successful are people that will engage their brains into critical thinking, okay? I want you to think for a minute. Critical thinking. If we are going to do things the way we have been doing them and the way we are used to doing them, then why should we expect something different? Then you should not expect something different. That is expecting God to be a magician, and he's not a magician. He said, I will bless the works of your hands. So what have you put your hands on? What have you thought about? What's that idea that you got out of your brains and you put it into practice and you got your hands dirty and said, you know what, this is it. I am a content creator. This is it. I'm a video editor. This is it. I'm going to market myself. I'm a counselor. I'm a mentor. I'm a consultant. This is it. I'm a plumber. I'm an engineer. Whatever it is. I'm a boutique owner. Oh, I sell clothes. Even if you're a hawker and you move from office to office, maybe you have your small car. Even if you don't have a car, but you have a Cavera and you put in your clothes and go to office. And do you know how many people cannot get out of their offices to go shopping? Sometimes when you think about these things, I've thought about so many times and I'm like, I wish there was a person in my neighborhood who just went through gate to gate just looking for cars to wash. How much money would that person make? Okay? Just thinking about, you know what, go to a certain neighborhood, gated neighborhood or something like that, knock on the door, give them your business card, come with your washing coat on and say, you know what, I give mobile services. I come to your home and then I wash your car. I leave it nice and clean. I go to the neighbor's car. Let me tell you, in that gated community, he can go home with his clean 100,000. And if he's wise enough to actually engage other guys and say, you know what, guys, come, work for me. I'm going to give you this much in a day. Do you know that he can go away with his 300K without, just thinking, critical thinking. Critical thinking demands that we think in 5D. We do not think in 2D, no. What we see is not what we get. There's a lot more behind what we see, okay? If you see a rich person, what did they do to get there? Because there are those who are genuinely rich. Okay, there are those who are genuinely wealthy, not that they stole or they belong to government so some of us don't want to be known by the government or by any government in the world. We feel that's an inconvenience. We feel we should have our money and just have fun and rest and just be secure, take care of our families. What more do we need? We need the happiness. We need to be happy, guys. Okay, so critical thinking. If you can only ask yourself, how else or what else does this mean? How can I look at this? What other angle can I look at this? Yes, this business must have failed in this area, but what if I tweak it, I adjust it? What if I look at it the other way around? Okay, if renting a boutique or renting a house where I house my boutique and sell, if that is going to be too expensive and then I'm not going to get enough profit at the end of the day, can I put these same clothes in my boot? Can I go around? I don't have a shop, but people have my numbers and I promote myself highly on social media, on my platforms, and a word of my mouth. If I sell something that is good, someone else is going to recommend, and I just make sure that when you call me, I arrive at your destination on time, I communicate well, I'm respectful, I'm polite, and I come, I sell you my goods, okay? And then you're like, okay, if that can't work, okay, can I get people, as in get different options out of one idea, get different options, how you can do the same thing. And believe me, you are going to be a millionaire, a billionaire, and you are going to be a happy person, okay? Critical thinking. This year, if you do not engage your brain, then sleep, do not disturb other people. Do not bother begging, do not bother going out of your house. If you're willing to engage your brain, go get the money. Go get them. You will indeed get the money, okay? How do you, if you have an idea that will get into my pocket, and I give you my money willingly without even having to, Bambi, I tell you, I wish, this is how I will do it, and then I'm going to do this, and then I will put in too much effort. Guys, time is up. This is not time to beg for money. This is time to engage our ideas, critical thinking, and let the world look for us. And the world can actually look for you, okay? And then number two that I will talk about is complex problem solving. We have talked about this in mentorship. Complex problem solving, guys. If you don't want to get your mind real, or your brain working, and your mind to in the reality mode, and look at the problems people are going through and how to actually solve them, then you're not going to be anybody. No, you're not going to be anybody. There's a I think it's a meme that I read, where someone was saying, "Do you know a spelling of somebody? Do you know a spelling of somebody?" Because we all grew up wanting to be somebody. I mean, coming from nobody to somebody. But apparently, when people grow up, they no longer know what somebody, the spelling of somebody. Guys, you can still be a somebody, okay? I don't know how to spell that, but you can still be a somebody, okay? And the only way to be a somebody in this world, believe me, anyone that you think is stinking wealthy, stinking rich, and very successful, look at what they do. They are solving people's problems, okay? Who? Richard Branson, Virgin Airways. He's transporting people. He's connecting. He's saying, I will get you from Virginia. I will get you from Florida to Colorado. I will take you from... And he's making his money, okay? And who? I mean, we've talked about so many people. And all these people are solving a problem in their own way, in their own regard. And believe me, people are willing to pay crazily to make sure that they have their problem solved. Okay? So I want you to look at it like an opportunity. I want you to look at things as problems as an opportunity. If someone comes to you, and how do you know people's problems? Talk to people. Do not be an island, okay? Talk to people. Engage the women, engage the men, engage the children, engage the parents. Parents, we have a lot more issues on our hands. If only you can take our children for some time and just keep them safe while we chase after the money, you will have all our money, okay? Because I'm willing to pay my maid, my house help, the one that takes care of that, my nanny, a lot of money. Why? Because she holds my life. She holds my children. Okay. But again, that is a problem area that needs solving. Okay. So my nanny is actually solving my problem, that I can leave my children and my heart is not up in my mouth, and I can go work and then come back home and they are safe, well fed, and they are clean. They are nice. Okay. So solve a problem. Complex problem solving is one of the things that is going to make you wealthy this year. Is one of the things that is going to distinguish between those that are successful and those that are just surviving. And this year is not for survival. Guys, we have been in survival mode for the longest time. I don't think this is time for us to survive. I believe this is time for us to thrive, okay? To thrive. Okay, let me look at what we have here. Nababi Esther, you're saying greetings, coach. Yes, coach, with the pre-recorded. Ideally, felt I'm stepping into a new state of my life and beat my thank you for this feedback. And then you say, meant to say, I felt real with myself. That's great. I'm still young. Yeah, that is actually no sense. I'm glad you're saying you cannot say I am still young. Okay, I mean, there's a lot for us to do. Nema Diana, thank you so much for joining us. Actually, it made me serious and aimed me more. And knowing I'm persuading people's lives, I felt I have to bring more on people's plates and getting consistent. Thanks once more, coach. Oh, you're a farmer, Segirinya. Wow. And guy, farming these days is the way to go, is the way to go, is the way to go, is the way to go. Okay. So if you're getting your hands dirty, you're getting solutions for people, and if you start farming on your own, you realize that at some level, Segirinya, you become a consultant. People will come to you for pest control, people will come to you for land preparation, people will come to you for to know different seasons, and people will come to you to know what's trending, what crop is trending. So get that knowledge. Segirinya, the moment you do something and you do it well, you learn to teach it to others. But one thing that you should learn to package it in a way that your consulting is not free of charge. Okay, someone does not come and just do this normal talk, the small talk. Oh, now post, now pests and what, and then you voila give them your information. Segirinya, this is an era where information is costly, very costly, and knowledge is very expensive. Okay, so I don't want you to just while you are farming, I want you to be a consultant in your game. Okay, make sure that your game is on, and make sure that what you do, you document, you read, you can elaborate, you can explain, and you can actually create a course out of that. Out of farming, you can create a course and say, potato farming in Uganda. You can say what? Passion fruit farming in Uganda. Jackfruit farming in Uganda. And it will not just be in Uganda, but worldwide. People are actually farming. The only way we survive on earth is food. And that is what farming brings to our plate. Whether we're talking about poultry, whether we're talking about crops, whether we're talking about animals, that is the only way we survive on earth. So that means that your goods are actually on demand, year in, year out, and season in, season out. Okay? So that means that you learn to price yourself, okay? You learn to add value to your goods, Segirinya, and then you learn to promote yourself. Okay, it could be on social media. Social media is I talk about social media like we have Facebook anymore in Uganda for the next few days. But hey, it's going to come back. And so you can go ahead, right ahead, and make sure that you promote yourself heavily. I mean, take pictures of yourself, write about something. I have a friend, and I don't know, he does, he's called Hamisi. He's in Kayunga. He does goat farming. Oh my God, that man has made a lot of money in and I think he specializes in fertilizing goats. Okay, so he worked with Sembeguya, that is farm in Masaka. Is it Sembabule? It's somewhere. And he's in Kayunga. He has a farm of his own, but he has traveled the world just because of goats. Because of goats. Let me tell you, when we were starting out with this guy, he was just a friend. I started out in Kayunga as a young girl, being a shop attendant. I know some of you don't know my story. So you're being a shop attendant, and you're a young girl. Everyone is thinking you should have been in town. I've left my parents in town, but I'm like, what, come what may, I really have to work hard. So that is how I found myself in Kayunga operating a shop. And so this guy, was one of the guys that, guys who are trying to be a bit modern. When you bring new phones, they're the first to come and buy, and they are around village people, and I didn't know what because they were working with NADs, they were working with narrow, they were working with those, and I was thinking, these are just village guys just doing farming. But let me tell you, I was so surprised when I saw the kind of work that he was doing, and traveling the world and being a consultant, that he knew how to price himself. Even when you go to his page, he's called Semanda Hamisi. If you go to his page, he even goes live to talk about goat rearing, and people follow him. They ask him questions. He's a consultant in goat rearing. Who knew in this age and era that goat rearing would make you a celebrity and it would make you a consultant? So anything that you find, anything that you get, even I think it's somewhere in the Bible that anything you get to do it wholeheartedly. Put in all your energy. Chigande buganyi, let it just, not work out. But when you know that you have given it your whole and there's nothing to regret about, I've told you the only things that we regret are the things that we never did. But the things that we have done, that is one way. If you do something and it doesn't work out, then one way not how to do it. So that means you're going to do it a different way. If it still doesn't work, you're going to do it a different way. That means you have learned more ways of not how to do it. So that means you're not going to repeat your mistakes. You're going to go on and discover more mistakes. And in those mistakes are the ones maybe you will discover you will hit a jackpot. Maybe that will be your turn around in life. And one of the things, even with myself, for me, majorly it was about solving relationship problems. Okay, why? Because I had learned, I had gone through my own, and I had so many people come to me, and I just saw. I mean, this is what I wanted to do. I connected with people. I knew that at the deeper level, we all want to be happy. We all want to be knowledgeable. We all want to, just have better relationships. If not have better relationships, then walk away boldly and have confidence. Love yourself. Be deliberately selfish. And look where it has gotten me. Okay, who knew that I would be this person right now? So do not just either throw in a towel or think that what you're doing is small. It is not small, my friend. It is not small at all. You can make it in bigger ways. Okay. And back to what I was talking about. I was talking about number one, critical thinking. Number two, I talked about complex problem solving. Okay, and this applies to you, Segirinya. This applies to all of us that are here. That is complex problem solving. Look for a problem. Get a book. Look for problems. Write those problems. Think about how you can answer them and create more streams of income. Okay, no one said you should do one thing. And then the other thing this year is going to be more about speed and not just elegance, because there are people that are quite very elegant. There's I think I was listening to a certain speech by a certain manager. I think it was a Stanbic manager, director, someone there, and so this person was saying that when the ATMs had just come in, or the wave of ATMs had just come in, they were like, you know what? They went and talked to, you know how you can have meetings and you talk about something and you're so vigorous and you're like, yes, we're going to do it and it's going to come out well. Now they planned. Now, little did they know when they had those meetings, the companies that have red tape, and then so and so talks about it, and then so and so talks about it, and then so and so, and they have meetings after meetings within meetings, and then within all those red tapes. And then before they knew it, by the time they were ready to launch their ATMs, as in the world was very far, other banks had already launched ATMs like years ago. So it did not make sense. So I don't want us to be like that. I don't want us to berate ourselves. And the reason as why we berate ourselves sometimes is procrastination. Sometimes we think we are not good enough. Sometimes we think we are not knowledgeable enough. Sometimes we think people are going to reject us. Sometimes we think people are just not going to validate us. It's just not going to work out. It's just, we have all those fears. But have the fear and get out anyway. Get out there and do something. Okay? Karim, you're saying that my only problem is not knowing when to give up. I make sure I squeeze water out of the rock. I went to read this again. My only problem is not knowing when to give up. I make sure I squeeze water out of the rock. No, I perfectly get it. I perfectly get that. There are people that really stick on and make it work, and not even make it work, but push and push and push and push. And yet, I think we all must have that. It's like a meter where you get to a place and say, you know what, this is just not going to work out, or it cannot work out a different way. That is why I say that it's very crucial that we engage our critical thinking, because when you engage critical thinking, this is what's going to happen. When you see that something is not working out in a certain way, you're going to look for a better way that is going to work. You're either going to consult, you're going to ask people, or you're going to try it on your own and see whether it will work out in whichever way you do it. Whether you're going to read a lot more, Google about it, whether you're going to go to YouTube and search a video about it, whether you're going, as in, you are going to do something about it. Because what critical thinking does, it does not let you lose. When you get to a place where you need to turn on the 3D or the 5D, then you will tweak the situation and say, okay, what else? What did I miss? What did I not think about? Why is it turning out this way? Okay, why is it that others have made it, but I have failed. We are in the same place, but my products are not moving, but my neighbor's products are actually moving. Now, when you get into critical thinking, then you discover the root cause of the problem. There's a time, I think there's a video I posted here about how to stop being jealous, and I talked about looking at the problem as the solution in an angle of a solution, because whenever there is a problem, it's pointing you to something, to a problem, to a core, to a source. Now, when you go to that source and zero down, for example, I'm building, and the place where I'm building, I'm just finishing out quite very huge apartments. But the place where I'm building is away. It's more like behind the place I'm building is more like a wetland. So I wanted to build septic tank, and a well. I already dug a well, and it's already done. But my friend, the soak pit, being able to cement it has been a problem. Okay, and so we have bought foil paper. We have bought chivera. We have done everything. There are some chemicals that we were told, because at first we thought it was about this the water cement, and at first we thought those things would work, but again they do not work, because whenever they have springs, that there are springs. When they dug, they got springs of water, so they are flowing with water. That means that they have to be able to cover them. Now, my friend, being able to cover it and being able to cement it has been a problem. Okay, so that means people have had to think every evening. When we go to the site, then we are thinking, what more can we do? What more can we do? And I am thinking, we have not yet nailed it, but I know that tomorrow we are going to nail it. We will find, even if it's to look for whichever company that deals with water or does with, I know there is someone who has a solution to that problem. Okay, so that means I don't just pretend and say, you know what, echivera chijakola, you use that one, you use the foil paper, or you use the water cement, it will hold. Why? Because if I insist, it's not going to hold, it's not going to hold, it's not going to hold. The people working for me are going to get frustrated. I'm also going to get frustrated. And in the end, nothing will be done. Okay, so that means you have to know when to stop and say, you know what, I need a higher gear, I need to engage more power, I need to consult, or I need to just relax. Do you know, sometimes when we take 2 steps back from whatever project we have been doing and we look at it with another kind of lens and from another angle, then we're like, I actually didn't know. And sometimes we are stressed. Sometimes you just need to put your tools down and go rest, sleep on it. Take 2 days without even thinking about it. When you come back to it the 3rd day, you're going to have a fresh mind and a fresh thinking. So I know we all go through some of these things, but it's very, very important. Okay. So persistence, Segirinya, is good. Abdul Karim, persistence is good, but you have to know when to let go. You have to know when to take the 2 steps back. You have to know when to diagnose the problem from afar. And you have to know when to never to make it personal, because certain things are just not personal. They're just not meant to be personal, okay? Okay, and then certain things we're meant to have other people crack the deal for us. Thanks for the inspiration, led Bahati Sabiti. I pray it gets someone like you when the time comes. Otherwise, God bless you and your family. Thank you, Alpha. And I hope that I pray for you also. Let me tell you, getting a good one of the things that makes someone wealthy or makes someone happy in life is really getting a good partner in life. Getting a good partner is the financial decision. Let me also talk about that. Getting a good partner is a financial decision, because this person is actually going to push you higher and make you better, and you will think about things together. Sometimes I talk about construction and I'm like, you know what, I think I should just get out of the office clothes and get into overalls and go to the site. Sometimes I'm just amazed by the knowledge that I have about site and building and stuff like that. But this is because we have been doing it for quite some time. So I can have a full day conversation with Tim around cement, around paste, around what colors, what cement did not work, what kind of worker was giving us a problem, what kind of meters do not work, what kind. And because I am interested, I'm in this marriage as an equal partner, okay? And not just as an equal partner. I know my place as a woman, I know his place as a man, okay? But my being a woman does not stop me from being a go-getter, and does not stop me from working hard. And when I make my decisions, actually my husband backs me up. When I say I'm going to take on a job that starts at 4 a.m., believe me, he's going to drive me out of the home. He will tell me, you know what, you can't drive yourself this early morning, I'm going to drive you to work. And we need partners that can help each other. We grow together, okay? So what makes one being attentive, but later this person fails to master the said words? What makes one being attentive, but later this person fails to master the said words? Okay, now being attentive, I can pretend to be attentive. Have you ever been in class? Oh, we've all done this trick. You're in class, you're looking at the blackboard, totemia. Your eyes are actually open wide. You're even shaking your head and showing the teacher you understand. But where is your soul? Where are your thoughts? You're thinking about something totally different. Now, when it comes to you, Esther, as a counselor or as a coach, do you know that you can look at a client while they are talking to you and you are shaking your head, but meanwhile you are thinking about your own problems, or you're thinking about something totally different, okay? Now, it takes deliberate effort for you to be present, okay? Not just attentive, but for you to be present, because what we demand is the presence. When you are present, that means your body, your soul, your mind are present in that place. That means that you have shut down everything else, all the noises that, because let me tell you, we can never refuse things to come, or thoughts to come into our minds. We can never refuse them, but we can decide what to dwell on, okay? So you can decide and say, you know what, I'm not going to dwell on this. I'm not going to think about this. I'm not going to think about this. And then you're like, you know what, I want to grasp what I'm being told. This is really important. So sometimes even our level of concentration depends on how important the material given to us, or it depends on the situation that we are going through. Sometimes when clients come to me and we talk, and I literally see they're just not present, sometimes I send them away. I tell them, you know what, go back home, rest it off. When you feel you are ready to come and engage, because how I know they are not ready is they do not engage, they do not involve themselves. Because if you were following, then you would have known, you'd have been on the same chapter with me. Because when people come to me, I do not spoon feed them. We work on the solutions together, because this is the person that is going to put them into practice, and I'm not going to be there at their home to see how they're going to put them into practice. So it's better I give them full authority and to come up with options so that we can work together. So if I see someone is not on the same chapter with me, I tell them, go, if you're ready, come back to me, and then we can talk about the rest, okay? So it's very possible that a body can be around, someone can even be attentive, pretend to be attentive, but when their minds are very away. So it depends on how important. And you know that some speakers also become quite boring when they speak, or coaches or counselors, and they're just the pace, and they're just slow and sluggish, and then you're like, oh, by the time you know, usually even when in normal life, when you're talking to people, okay, my dogs are just making too much noise. But even when you're dealing with other people, I think the thing that I hate most in my life is just sluggish speakers. Why? I'm a fast speaker, so I expect people not to be at my pace, but at least, you know, be engage my brain, because the moment you're slow, you lose me. I can't follow, okay? So the other thing, coach, what makes us feel lazy, aside being less energetic but lazy to accomplish things, okay? Now, that is that happens to so many people. If you feel lazy, if you feel, that is a form of procrastination, that is a form of avoiding certain things. And sometimes we know, actually most times we know that the things we are avoiding are very important, okay? That is why I have a routine. In a day, I don't set more than 3 things to accomplish. I make sure that I have my top 3 things to accomplish in a day. And if I finish them, and I make sure that I have a time frame between the morning and midday to finish everything that I need to finish. Because if it crosses after midday, then I am starting to slow down a bit. That is why I put most of my meetings after midday, because then I'm attending meetings. I don't have to engage my brain so much. I engage my brain mostly in the morning when I have, if I have crucial meetings, if I have presentations, if I have even if the shootings, if whatever it is that I need to do, engage, I do it in the morning. Now, the reason as to why we procrastinate, sometimes we think we have all the time on earth, and then sometimes we are just not motivated enough. We lose motivation. We say motivation is like bathing, and that is why you have to bathe every day. Okay, so you have to keep motivated every day. The reason as to why I have the mentorship class is because I wanted, and you actually see it, that some of us have been able to do certain things because we have been on the push. We've been working as a group. And so if you see Marjorie posting or Royhana posting, if you see Faida saying something, if you see someone saying something, then you're like, you know what, I should also get out and do something. But sometimes, even when we see people doing something, then we're like, I will do it. And procrastination is not the same as postponing. Procrastination is when you don't do anything, you don't do something, but not because you were busy, just because you didn't want to do it or you didn't have the energy to do it. Postponing is when you have someone else or you have an emergency and then you're like, let me push it to tomorrow. But I usually say, what you can do today, make sure that you do today, okay? Because you will regret. You will regret later. I don't want you to regret when you look back and people have gone ahead of you and the world has left you and you cannot catch up. Let me tell you, it's so hard. If the world leaves you, even if it's for 6 months, you will not be able to catch up. We usually say better late than never, and it's never too late, but that is something that is able to get you back on track. But if you can be on track when you are young, let me tell you, people are going to be envious of you, people are going to be jealous of you, people are going to look at you and they're going to say, oh mama, she got an early start. For example, when I look at you, Esther, you got an early start. Jemima, you got an early start to life. Like, I envy you. I wish I made certain decisions when I was 20, okay? By the time I came into my industry, I was way older, okay? But I'm thankful I started then, because then my brain had grown and I knew exactly what people were going through, what I was going through. I knew exactly what to do and when to do it. So do not procrastinate, okay? Do not procrastinate. That is just your brain delaying you from achieving certain things, okay? And then, how best can you convince someone, like a partner, to, i.e., start a project, okay? How best can you convince a partner to start a project? Now, this is what happens. Start from when you were with this. Make sure that you involve them. Sorry about that. I don't know what exactly happened, but if this starts happening, the networks could be really, really bad. So I'll be winding up as I finish up these questions. So make sure that you involve them. That is what I'm trying to say. And involve them from the onset, from the inception, from the conception of the project or the idea. Do not bring them on board later, okay? And sometimes when they know that you're doing this for the good of the family, when they know how much you're going to make out of this project, or how much both of you are going to make out of this project, and then when you do a project and they feel like they have earned out of that project, or the money that does not just go to you, and your partner feels that, you know what, I had a share, or what we did was actually for the better of the both of us, or what we gained from this thing together. So next time you bring the idea of the project, they will jump on, okay? And then we have to know our partners. Sometimes we expect too much from our partners than they can give. And if you're in love with someone, even for a year, you will know that these people are not the people the kind of people that come through for projects, or they're the kinds who will listen and give you encouragement, but they will step aside. They will not be involved. And then there are those who will be involved even uninvited. They will want to ask you, now what's this happening, can I go with you, can I do what? And you're like, hey, slow down, okay? So I want you to learn your partner and know that there are certain patterns that you have seen in their lives, and you cannot push You know, our brother said, Karim, that you squeeze water out of the rock. Sometimes it's not worth it, okay? When you know that your partner is the kind that comes on board and you want them on board, involve them, you know, sit down, go talk, you know, have the blueprints, talk about everything. If you know she's not the kind, inform her about it and see how much she likes it and how she can come. You know, we cannot convince people unless we come from the point of where they really are, you know, their interest, and you know they are interested in this particular thing. And then you must ask yourself, what is your motive for involving your partner? I have seen some partners wanting to involve their partners or spouses because their spouses have the money and maybe they can, they can. I'm not saying it's for your case, but I'm giving general examples, because either the wife has money or the girlfriend has money, and so the girlfriend can be able to inject money into this project, okay? And sometimes when they the intentions are not good, sometimes things do not pay off, or sometimes people will know that actually the intentions are not good, or when they know they are not going to gain from it. We were talking about borrowing money from spouses some time back, and someone says, no, 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 I cannot lend money, I cannot lend money to my spouse. If I give my money to my spouse, I give them money that I know I am willing to lose. That means it's not going to be a lot of money, okay? So that means you really have to work together. I'll give you my example. For us, we don't have my money, his money, it's all our money. And then we do projects together, okay? From the inception, Tim is very transparent, that even the money that he gets from other deals, he will tell me, this is the much that we have. And sometimes I get surprised at myself, because he will have that money and I will not even want a coin of that money. And why I was thinking about it of recent, and I was like, I think it's because I have my own, it's because I'm making my own, it's because I have my own life going. And I think it helps so much not to be a stress, because then if I know that we have allocated this to a building project, that is going to go to the building project. We're going to talk about workers together, we're going to talk about what we're even going to go to factories to buy the things that we need to go together. I will make time for that. Out of my busy schedule, I will know that this day we're going to buy plumbing things, this day we're going to do this, we are going to do this. And because it's a whole real estate business, okay? So we don't leave anything to chance. But you realize the way he involved me is he became totally transparent. Even when I was not earning money, he was very transparent with me. Even when I was younger, he would tell me, now this is it, let's go, and he would involve me. So I saw the transparency from the onset, that even when I have money, I don't have problem him knowing anything that I have, and him being able to manage it and take control. So you don't convince, you come from a point of action, lay your cards on the table, be transparent, have a genuine need and cause, and then bring them on for the better cause that benefits the two of you. That will not be hard. If you do it once, you do it the second time, it will become a pattern. And I think I'm answering the last question. Christine, yeah, you came in late, but here you are. Thanks, coach. I'm satisfied with the answers. I appreciate, thank you. And then Nicholas, hi, Nicholas, how you doing? Okay, I said when we finish up the questions, I'll be I'll be leaving this place. But speed, I said speed over anything else, or elegance. Make sure that when you think about something, you go ahead and do it. One thing that I've realized of recent, when you think about an idea, it's not yours alone. You will be surprised to find someone else thinking about the same idea. So that means if God has given us the capacity to think about the same things or have the same ideas, the one who does it fast actually breaks through the market, okay? So make sure that when you create ideas, talk to the right people. And this year, make sure that you give time to the right people, not energy suckers, not energy drainers, but people who contribute to your energy, and people who are just loving, and people who are just, being there for you. And just make sure that you choose you. Make sure that you are happy. Make sure that you guys have money. Money makes life easy. It makes life sweet. It just lubricates life, okay? Just have money, make money, and make more streams of money. We are going to talk about that the income thing, and creating more streams of income, what does not work and what works. And if you can give me your questions, I'll be able to still come on here and answer them. And for the next few days, we're going to have more time here. Why? Because apparently it's the only platform that we have right now where we can talk. But I love you so much, and and from me to you is a good night. Okay, if you have more questions, at least my lines are open. You can be able to drop me a message. WhatsApp is not on for now, but you can be able to drop me a message, an email, and I'll still get back to you, and we'll talk about whatever we need to talk about. All right, mine is a good night. Good night, good night, good night. Love you, Esther, Faida, Roihana, and Brenda, Marjorie. Love you guys, and good night. Okay.